Welcome again for another episode of the Environment Dialogue here at UCTV. We are here always to explore, digest, explore a lot of things that has been happening in our continent, in our part of Africa. You know that through the week last month, started from 30th, we launched the SDG run. That's the Sustainable Development Goals, and it was massive where all the partners, the UN agency were there. So this was something that we have started with, which you want to explore that within these 6 remaining years, that Uganda will be recommendable among the global countries that has really scored in sustainability, in areas to do with sustainability. And when you talk about sustainability, you don't leave the concept of the environment, and that's the reason why we always gather here at UCTV. Here tonight I have my wonderful guests. Who you have been seeing them now. They have become popular in your screen, like Arthur. I have Hamuzah. Hamuzah is back. I know I am going to give them 1 minute to greet you, to say hello to you viewers. So without waste of time, today we have a very important topic that we are discussing, and that's the topic that has made us this month that we are setting next week some of the negotiators for COP29 in Baku. And you need to listen to that, because people sat down in different hotels, boardrooms, were coming up with position paper for this cause. And the reason why we say that we need to discuss this critical matter, which is Uganda's strategy for mitigation. What are our strategy? What are the government strategy for the mitigation? Because we have been hearing from experts saying that no, the government cannot go there. Mitigation is expensive. No, the people in that grassroots, they cannot go into that. But today I have people who have understood, they have done certain aspects, they have run certain initiative to support the mitigation initiative in different communities. Right now, let me invite starting from Arthur. Arthur, let me start from Arthur. Arthur, say hello to the viewers, greet the viewers.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you, Dickens, and it's a pleasure being back here. Once again, my name is Sanyu at Blick, and I am the executive director at Afrika. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Arthur. Let me come to Hamuzah. Hamuzah, greet the viewers.
Hello, viewers. I'm Hamuzah Ssesanga, and I work with the Wildlife Clubs of Uganda as the program officer, and I'm glad to be here once again.
Oh, thank you, Hamuzah. Thank you, team. These are our dear guests for today's discussion, and I just want to ask you that please don't change don't touch your dial. Just leave it locked at UCTV as you watch what these brilliant guests are saying, what they're exploring. Because the topic that we are handling today, you can borrow a lift, you can start up something. Because when we are talking of mitigation, there is a lot of things that we learn from there. Oh, Arthur, welcome back from the American election. I know that your opponent was beaten, but it's fine, it's okay. Hamuzah, I know Arthur. I will get that energy, even though we shall go with what God has given us. All right then. Oh, Hamuzah, Arthur, what are the strategies you've seen? You've been attending conferences, and welcome back from the REC, that's Renewable Energy Conference. Even though we lost a commissioner who was so darling, who was one of the organizers, may his soul rest in peace. Engineer Simon Sechitoleko, we really send our condolence, because you've been a friend, you've been everything. The ministry have done so much in supporting the young people. That's why I could not leave this moment without really sending a condolence message to the family, that may God really comfort and strengthen the bereaved family. All right then, Arthur, I was still coming back. I saw you at the Renewable Energy Conference. You are with some people, even you are one of the exhibitors. So what are the strategies really for the mitigation that we have as a country right now? Because first of all, before going to that, someone want to know, because you know there are two concepts that has been always confusing people: adaptation, mitigation, and right now we have also adaptation fund that some people don't know. Maybe you can highlight something that the viewers can listen and they understand.
Thank you so much. But before I go into it, I also want to add my voice by standing with the family of the late commissioner. For us who were engaging with him over the weekend, it was so much taking. And we pray that God really receives his soul and judges him fairly. Having said that, climate change is a broader concept.
That's true.
Therefore, there are words that might disturb different communities in terms of understanding. But also being a very complex issue, we have also come to realize as a country that it is here to stay.
That's true.
And therefore, for us to appreciate it better, we need to devise means either to be with it or to minimize it, but we can't stop.
That's true.
So mitigation is just the other name of making sure that you minimize. Adaptation is just
Living within
appreciating let's plan to live
with the problem.
Having said that, I want to go into directly what you asked us about our strategies as a country, strategies as a community, strategies as people around here.
As CSOs.
But let me start from the countryside of it. Uganda as a country, in one way to embrace this whole idea of climate change, mitigation, adaptation, it is a party to the international community who are trying to make sure that climate change is dealt with, and that starts from way back in 2016 with the Kyoto Protocol, 2020 to 2020, yes, in the Paris Agreement. So by signing these treaties, that is one way of saying goodwill. Let's go in and see how best we can address these adverse effects of climate change. But having said that, from the international community coming back to our local communities, as a country, it has put on policies to make sure that it formulates a framework in which players can then start working to be able to address climate change issues, discuss them, engage with them, and some of them include the policy, includes the act, includes the departments. For instance, we already have the ministry that is engaging with the commissioner that you have rightly put. We have people specifically tasked to champion the discussions of climate change. So with that, we are saying that as a country, it is focused and it is intentional in terms of addressing these issues. If we come back to the community level, we have different departments, and these departments are both at local government but also in the lower local governments. For instance, in terms of the Department of Production at the district level, in terms of the Department of at the sub-county level, there is also a department that supports communities in terms of all those initiatives. But also moving forward, the government this year, this whole campaign, we have the whole program championed by the president of planting 2 million trees. And we think that is intentional, and it is about mitigating the issues and effects of climate change. But also, we have increasingly seen that there are different initiatives being started and supported by the ministry. For example, we have what we call the climate change negotiators. And these, I like it because we have our young people who are championing this.
Yes.
Being identified, being mentored, being supported, so as to make sure that it is sustainably engaged. So for me, as we start, I think this is very critical, that the government is trying intentionally put climate change mitigation at the forefront of all discussions. So I think, yes, we are trying to have initiatives that are being run. But also, on top of that, we also have funds specifically targeting those who are trying to mitigate climate change effects and adverse. So that in itself mobilizes, motivates, and encourages all of the stakeholders to be able to engage in this climate change mitigation. Thank you so much.
All right, Arthur. Thank you for that preamble. Preamble that you've given about the mitigation, Uganda strategy for the mitigation, and also the CSO. Oh, let me come to Hamuzah. Hamuzah, I've seen you all. You've been working with, especially working with the youth, the children, moving into different schools with the Uganda Wildlife Authority, with also Uganda Wildlife Society. You've been really into conservation a lot. You see that like the initiative or that the agency of the government like Wildlife Authority and different CSOs and also NGOs, do you think that their strategy in lines with mitigation, is it going to help us as a country, or there is something else that maybe we should adopt to use it as an intervention for the mitigation?
Yes, thank you, Dickens. As Wildlife Clubs of Uganda, together with our partners, we are looking at what we call conservation education and public awareness. And awareness is among the key things that we are supposed to do as a strategy to mitigate climate change. Like we all know, climate change is as a result of the increase in the greenhouse gases. So all activities, all actions that are aimed at reducing these carbon emissions are driving us towards mitigating and almost even getting adapted to climate change. So as Wildlife Clubs of Uganda, Uganda Wildlife Authority, National Environment Management Authority, Uganda Wildlife Conservation Education Center, Protected Area, have departments which are established for specifically creating awareness, education and advocacy on this issue. So with those departments and those officers and commissioners, we move to different parts of the country, involving schools, communities, to teach them, because we know creating awareness about the issue is very key, because you cannot introduce these new terms to our people when they don't understand what really climate change is. So what we are doing with them is we are creating awareness right from the grassroots. We believe dealing with the young people, the school-going children, our message will move to a wider audience and to a wider space, and they will understand the effect, the impacts and the challenges that are being caused by climate change.
Okay, coming to that, I've seen that as a country, the government came up with the National Adaptation Plan, and I think that this one also has been tabled, and I know that there are negotiators also who are going in line to negotiate about share the knowledge and also trying to convince the white people there about our adaptation maybe strategy using the plan that the government came up with. Do you think that really the mitigation that we are looking as a country, don't you think that really it's too expensive for the government to go into that? Are we ready as a country, first of all, to go into this mitigation? Because when you're looking at mitigation, you're looking at what? Funds, and that's money. And we are right now in certain sectors are complaining there is no money for this, there is no money for A, B, C, D, for infrastructure. And you know that when you're talking about mitigation, we are talking about technology, you're talking about modern facilities, you're talking about things which are essential that you cannot do without it as a country. So, Hamuzah, my question is, do you think really as a country, are we ready for this?
Thank you, Dickens. As it is well stipulated, and Uganda is also among those countries that are implementing the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes.
And SDG number 17 emphasizes partnerships.
Yes.
And we are here in this era of so many organizations, so many governments, CSOs, NGOs working together. I believe, when NGOs, CSOs and government partner, we can really push this mitigation agenda. So I think government of Uganda and the people of Uganda, together with the NGO world and other partners, we can push this mitigation agenda, bearing in mind that every partner has a role to play in this mitigation strategy or in this mitigation agenda. We cannot stand as government alone if we are to achieve the impacts or the benefits of the mitigation strategy of Uganda.
Okay, thank you, Hamuzah. Let me go to Arthur. After I had you speaking, I want to bring our adaptation intervention, and I've seen you, your organization has also embraced some of the adaptation measures that you guys are, especially I'm seeing that as you're into turning plastic waste into at least something like pavers, making, which is a very good intervention. Arthur, do you think that really now, coming that the government has come out with the national adaptation plan, and again they are looking into also the mitigation intervention, do you think that really as a country are we able to run these two, or maybe we can say that Uganda as a country, as we know that we are in the among the LDCs, why can't we maybe embrace this like the adaptation, and if us maybe put the, as Hamuzah said that we need to, as the SDG goal 17 say that we need to partner and collaborate, but we have seen that it's still a challenge in Uganda, whereby every organization want to be a superstar. Why? Because they want to impress their donor who is giving them money, and this has become a challenge. And also the government has been complaining that their youth organization are disorganized, they are not organized and all that. So how can we really embrace this adaptation and mitigation as a country, or else should we choose only mitigation adaptation according to you?
Thank you so much. Like you rightly put it, we all want to please our donor.
Yeah.
And that then leads us to the other side of saying, if you don't treat your child, the cost of burying will be.
That's true.
So you can't determine how much you spend in the burial, but you can determine how much you spend in the treatment. So if we have failed to treat our children, the cost of burying will not. We can't go away with it. Having said that, as a government now, the cost of conservation alone, we have intentionally not put enough money. If you ask these guys in the department, yes, the department is there, but they are not financed the way they are supposed to.
We have a budget which is
but then
very
passing then there are priorities, unfunded priorities.
Yeah.
They will tell you come next financial year. But then when it's time for addressing the adverse effects, we run to the donor to supplement the budget. So when we are supplementing, we have no choice. The person giving you money will tell you, no, me, my money is for adaptation. No, me, my money is there is a common saying that says the poor person has no choice. So whatever they come as
the beggar has no choice.
Have no choice. So the donor is giving you for adaptation, you go for adaptation. The donor is giving you for mitigation, you go for mitigation. Just because you have no capacity. So as a country, we are torn into that. And being a free economy, you can't determine. In a socialistic economy, you have a government that says, for us, we are no longer receiving any funds. Our focus as a country, we are heading to adaptation, and all those issues that developing countries face. So Uganda cannot be accepted. But I see that the government is trying. It's trying in terms of its strategies. The other, you rightly said it, the other weekend, the last weekend we had the renewable energy. So in a bid for us to transition from the traditional energies to renewable, there is more of the awareness that my colleague Hamuzah was saying. So the government is trying to make sure that they popularize the renewable energy. They try to solicit for funding. They try to solicit for friends who can come and invest in this, so that more and more people are able to adapt to renewable energy. You remember the president's decree of the ban of cutting forests.
Yeah.
All those are strategies that they are trying to. Also, the government is promoting low carbon development. More people there's a project under the European Union that I think it is called SPGSS, something like that, where you plant more trees. They finance you to plant more trees, and when you plant them, they will come and harvest them and reward you for those carbon credits. So there are more initiatives into that. There has also been a lot of technologies in the renewable energy, and we are seeing more of EVs, the electrical vehicles, the electric cars, the electric motorcycles. They are getting more and more appreciated within our country. So that means the strategy of encouraging people to transit is somehow picking shape. So as a country, we have no choice. That's what I can say. But we need to balance our engagements. Other than that, we might be overwhelmed at the end of the day.
Okay, Sanyu, I will come back to that when you talked about of the carbon credit. I know that someone will say, what is other meaning by carbon credit? We're talking about the EVs, these electric bikes that we are seeing, electrical vehicles, which all these as a country. We know that someone down in my village in Abim, if you're telling him that to buy a Tesla of 100 million and when there is a space of 5 million, he will say that you're joking. I cannot spend that. So we are going to come back for that discussion to continue with that about the measures or adaptations measures. How it's really going to affect maybe people, or maybe we are ready for it as a country. Or without waste of time, my dear viewers, I want us just to go for a short commercial break. Then we shall be back and looking at the challenges that government has been facing, the CEOs, the NGOs, or the private communities are facing in these interventions that the government is trying to sell to the public, trying to sell to the people at the grassroots level there to embrace. If it's worthy buying it, or maybe we can say no, this issue, we as a country right now we are not prepared. Why can't we start with the one that we can manage? Maybe if plastic waste management, or we can do something that we know that as a community we can practice it, we can understand it better, and we understand in our own local language. So stay tuned at your tele. We shall be back within a short minute.
UCTV, good news for all. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank, agribusiness solar loan of up to 50 million shillings for a solar-powered irrigation system on your farm. Enjoy a grace period tailored to your cash flows, and loan offer amounts from 100,000 up to 50 million Uganda shillings with flexible loan periods up to 60 months. Apply for a Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan through our branches, agents, and enjoy a fixed interest rate of just 1.7% per month. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan today and watch your farming dreams come to life. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
Ekiki? Go wangula. Nsasula emyezi 3 n'empangula. Hey! Ha!
Abaye, kubadde ki?
Kituufu ensasula emyezi 3 mpangula. Kituufu.
Subscribe for 3 months to any package of your choice, or grab an Azam TV kit and pay for 3 months and stand a chance to win life-changing rewards: Android smart TVs, fridges, motorcycles, and that is not all. You could walk away with free subscription or the grand prize of 20 million Ugandan shillings in cash. Yes, 20 million grand prize. Subscribe today and enter the draw. For more information, 031 2308 900 or visit any Azam TV dealer near you.
Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
Welcome to Seeds of Success. My name is Rwanga Godfrey. Seeds of Success, we talk about business environment,
If you want to be a millionaire, work for money. But billionaires work for wealth.
Social affairs.
Whom to blame via characters and talents? Is it tertiary institutions or humanity within the human beings?
And other topical issues. Don't miss on UCTV, good news for all.
Support the Uganda Catholic Television with MTN Momo. Step 1. Dial star 165 star 3 hash. Step 2. Enter merchant code 180572. Step 3. Enter any amount from 500 Uganda shillings. Step 4. Pay using MTN mobile money. Step 5. Enter PIN code and send. Step 6. You will receive a confirmation text for supporting the Uganda Catholic Television.
Ronaldo down in the area, penalty!
Don't miss the sports link on UCTV. Catch us every Monday to Friday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. as we take you into the thrilling world of sports in football.
And Messi! Thuram! Mbappe!
Saka shoot, deflects in, Arsenal have the lead!
Netball.
Ssesanga taking the shot. And look at that exceptional steal.
Motorsports.
Oh my leg!
Boxing.
Another.
Swimming and much more. UCTV Sports Link with Samgenza Mustafa. Only on UCTV. Good news for all.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome back, my dear viewers, for this another episode and all that we are trying to sell out. We are trying really to explore it together. We're not only us, but I know that you're there who is watching us also. You're picking something and also you're understanding certain things. And always encourage you that drop your comments on our Twitter page, on our Facebook page, even the YouTube session for comments there. You can type something, you can send a message or reach out to us, because we are there really to understand this together and to get to embrace this as a nation, because this discussion is not only for us but it's for everyone. That's why always we make sure that we are at the mainstream here to share this knowledge. All right then, before we went for the short commercial break, I was still telling my colleagues here that that now the government is coming up with the strategies for mitigation. But as a country, are we ready? That's the first question. Then secondly, we are seeing mitigation, but as a country we see that some of our facilities, our infrastructures cannot uphold these mitigation strategies that we are trying to look for as a country. Because if we are still not able to handle these little small things that we have within us, why do we first put things up there? Especially for the people who are going for the negotiation at COP next week. Are they looking at some of the initiatives that maybe they should first start with the grassroots? But when you preach this message of mitigation to a Karamojong in his language, he will understand it and he will embrace. That's the first question. Then, as a government, do we have enough resources to know that we are able to build the capacity of maybe the CSOs, the CBOs, or the community initiatives that are trying to run something, to build it up, to come up? Because we have seen countries like Singapore, yes, they adopted what's called a community-based initiative in their mitigation, and they succeeded. And that's why right now we look at them as in the first world countries. So as Uganda, Arthur, with all this strategy, have they not left out Omuntu Hawansi, that we're a grassroots person as you? Or what are these challenges that may be what is going to be bound to the omuntu wa wansi, that person who is down in the community there, are they able to embrace this really, these mitigation strategies that the government is trying to sell to the people?
And I think I want to start from where you have stopped, because you rightly put it. Once strategies are community-led,
yes,
community-owned,
yeah,
they are sustainable. The cost of implementing and following up becomes very small. Compared to you bringing your strategies and you impose on people, you need the cost of capacity building, you need the cost of raising awareness, you need the cost of monitoring, you need the cost of reporting.
Yeah.
All those costs are there if you start from above.
Yes, please.
So, and I think that's where we draw a line as a country. This country is more known for having policies, very beautiful policies, and many of them, each issue in this country, call it Giga eradication, it has a policy somewhere.
And I think that you talk about carbon credit initiative, and I hear that they have started, people are coming up with that, the policy in regards to carbon credit. But you find that even people don't know what's called carbon credit.
Exactly what I am saying. Because then the policy is developed, and then we are looking at how best can we cascade it down. And yet we would have people engaging in initiatives, and then we develop a policy to regulate them. So that is a total mismatch for this country, and I think we need to move away from that kind of work. Secondly, you talked about infrastructure. As a country, our intention is we always have unfunded priorities. Very beautiful priorities. These guys do a lot of planning. They are consulted. Their input is there.
The Hamuzahs.
When it comes to giving what we call the budget breakdown in terms of can we fund this priority, there are always competing priorities that this country has, and therefore some of those are always eliminated to unfunded priorities. They are good to know, but they are not very. We have security, we have there are things that matter in this country than your environment, your conservation initiatives, and that then leaves us with a gap, because at the end of the day things keep on accumulating. We've had the story of cheaters for long. 20 years down the road, the same issue keeps on accumulating, and the government is saying it is unfunded. It is a good priority, but not now necessarily at this time. We shall come for it. By the time they come for it, it is way beyond the money they would have invested in cash. So it's something that we need to understand as a country. I want to think that, like you said, the policy. We do know that we have a boo-boo. Buy Uganda,
Build Uganda.
But I have over time and consistently said, if you go to look for Ugandan product on the market, it is the most expensive. Why? Because we go through a lot to put that product on the market, and that discourages very many, including the initiatives within the environment sector. So if Uganda is to overcome some of the challenges, let them implement the Bubu policy. Let them finance Ugandans. There are very many things. We are doing Kira EV, but buying a car from Kira alone, a person who has gone to Japan and brought a Toyota is much more cheaper with all the taxes. It's much more cheaper compared to a Ugandan who is trying to support Kira EV. So as we are trying, as they are innovators, like you said, there are some organizations that are doing initiatives, and I is one of those. But the process of getting certified to produce a product, we are producing blocks for building. But the mindset alone that this block can construct a house is taking us, even the people in the engineering department cannot appreciate. The people in the ministry do not appreciate the technologies. And yet, as a country, would be saying, okay, there are these Juwakaris that are trying to promote these technologies. Can we look at them? Can we put them together? Can we support them? Can we build their capacity? Can we give them tax incentives so that their technologies are then appreciated at community and demand is driven? Once the demand is driven, these adaptation and mitigation costs will be less, because then it will be community-led, community-owned. I think as a country we need to focus to refocus our intention and focus more on what is the community trying to do to address this, and then we support them to build more of the capacity, so that we are doing initiatives and we are funding priorities that are community owned and community led. So there are very many challenges, but mostly we need, we appreciate the government has put an enabling environment, but enabling environment with competing priorities. There are more foreign donors, the foreign investors here, who outshine the local investors, and those are not sustainable. They come and invest to take all the money. We are talking of adaptability and mitigation. We are doing the in Hoima. We are bringing total come and do all the things. Are we not chasing the money than solving the issue? So I think that's where we differ as a country. There are some countries in our East African community who decide to say, now some of these things are ours. No one should decide for us. Even when we don't have money, we shall look at the ways to get the money to address it. But for us, we want to get every solution to be foreign funded. It comes with strings. You can't make a decision because the person who has given you money has interest, which interest may not be within your limits to money. So I think we need to do more as a country in terms of protecting our.
Okay. Let me come to Hamuzah. Hamuzah, Arthur has talked about protecting the country, protecting the local people, and embracing the local community initiative. And during the Renewable Energy Week at Munyonyo, I saw that 80% of the people who were there at the exhibition find that most of their innovation was local community driven. And they were beautiful innovation, and even their idea, when you ask them, how do you do this? You really listen to a brilliant idea. And now my question is, why is it that they fail to sell their product or their initiative to the government? Are we the problem in the local community? Is it, or maybe it's the policy which is in place, which is not favoring these people with their products? And we know that their innovation or their initiative contributes to this so-called issue that we are trying to overcome, that is which we are trying to sell to the people. That's the mitigation measures. So what's the problem really? Is it the policy? Is it with the people who are not really maybe doing things in the right way, that the government meeting the standard of the government, or maybe there's something else that people are not understanding?
Well, Dickens, you have stipulated it very well that during the REC, or the Renewable Energy Conference 2024, a number of community-driven initiatives, exhibitors were invited. That one alone shows that government has that political will to empower and support community-based initiatives, so as to drive the mitigation agenda and to relay the message. I think that one alone clearly shows that government has tried to build the capacity, because only inviting them for the conference and they share with the different NGO world, CSOs, is among the capacity building strategies.
It's about, now, one thing is about being invited, but another thing is twagala sente, one money. Because these people who have come, they have come to sell their idea.
And let me tell him that it was funded by GIZ.
GIZ, oh, what? At least.
Yes, I understand, Dickens, your concern. But remember, this process of indoctrinating into people the idea of coming up with these innovations and technologies that will help us mitigate climate change impacts it actually starts with what we call mindset change. What government is doing, they're giving them a platform to expose them, empower them, and ensure and support them that what you are doing is right, but maybe if you want to take a step and start earning a living from what you are doing, do this. That's why we had a number of, we call them presenters and facilitators, to continue building capacity of these local investors or these local innovators. So I think government and the NGO world and CSOs have really tried, but of course much more emphasis is still needed, because you may find that all the were exhibiting in the rake, all of them were coming from one region.
Yeah.
You may find that all those ones that were in the rake are actually in the center here
in the city.
The business, you know. But there are some outside in the rural areas. We have innovators.
But did they? I did not see any persons were saying that is from Kavale, or Kanungu, or Bududa. Where are they there?
I'm sure they were there, but of course, you know the challenges of transporting.
I understand that.
Resources. Yes, that one takes us back to the other point that I said. We need as the political will. First, the government has given us the political will to support our systems, all our organizations, the CBOs, so that they can come up with these innovations. And the other thing, the another challenge is, I am repeating, it is mindset change. You can look at a scenario where we are trying to tell our people that cutting down our trees for wood fuel is actually expensive than resorting to biogas or, let me say, solar energy. But because someone looks at a tree, it is on his easier reach, he will go and cut, but the repercussions after cutting that tree will surface. Of course, they will not occur immediately, but if they are to surface, they are long lasting. So the challenge we have as government, as CSOs, is to clearly always tell our people that cutting down a tree is much more dangerous than resorting to solar energy or biogas. Yes.
Oh, okay, you have talked. Yes, Arthur.
I want to challenge my brother here.
Yes.
And I'm quite sure he must have gone for patriotism class. You know, this guy is the manual. They go for 2 weeks in Chankwazi.
Why is the guy a wildlife? It's a must.
I don't know why we as a country the other time I was in Ginger.
Yes.
You know, there are I think every city there were those 2 big trees in those cities. 2, 3 or 5 or something.
Those indigenous trees.
Those indigenous trees. And the Ginger town, my brother Turiakira was the organization had shoot Ginger
Robert.
Yes. Because they are telling us not to cut, but they're the ones cutting. And that is where the challenge is. Now, we are, because of urbanization in this town, you have seen how the whole Kampala has changed.
Yeah.
Why? They are trying to look for how to get another budget and do other things. In the process of getting another budget, they are destroying the same things that used to be there. Now, coming back to the government having goodwill, which is okay, but you know how much it costs to have that conference in community?
Billions.
We did traditional exposure meetings in the different
regions,
focusing on different communities with their different technology. Here we are talking renewable energy. Who knows the renewable energy? We know the traditional thing. It might be renewable energy.
Yes.
They don't know it that way. And I would think as government would be intentional and do regional
platforms. Yeah.
Regional platforms called traditional
investors.
There are people who are doing that traditional, but aimed at the same thing. For us, we want to impose our own things here because we have GIZ fund financing, but GIZ has interests that Uganda government may not be aligned with, but because they can't finance, therefore we go with that. But as a government, we can do better. We can take these discussions on the ground level. Have a regional, have small sector. For me, that would be an approach.
Yeah, I think that was also a concern.
So, I still want to think how many people you can do a random survey. The guys who are running the timber business in this town. You tell me, you may find 60% is government. There are people in government who are saying don't cut trees, but stopping you, they are getting monopoly. So we are conflicted with the economic interests. And that is because we have been so much depolarized. Government has no firm hand of saying whoever I meet will One time I was transporting timber. I plant trees in my village. So I was transporting timber from that side. You need a permit.
Yeah.
To transport, but that permit you pay for it. The person you pay doesn't see how you have cut, doesn't, as long as you have paid government revenue. So, it is about the revenue of the country. We are so much poor that we can't afford, and therefore we approach every opportunity. I am saying it is bad.
Does it mean that someone is absent from his office? Or?
No. I'm not saying it's bad, but we need a limit also. We need, in my language we say, the poor heart cannot decide for itself. The heart is poor, whatever comes it goes with it. So as a country we need to outgrow that habit. We need to be and have a firm stand against some of those issues that we think as a country are putting us down.
Okay. All right. Let me come to Hamuzah. Hamuzah, what are some of the sustainable ways or intervention that you think that the community can embrace, the young people down there can embrace, and also the government can bear relief that maybe when like your community or your organization sit down and come up with a position paper and say, government, look, these are things that for us we have done as Wildlife Club or Wildlife Club of Uganda, and we have seen that this thing is working in this community in Kapchora. Why can't you, rather than bring a foreign organization, a foreign company, why can't we invest this money in this community? Then this thing can support the community, because the community have different initiatives. They are community-led initiatives that we know that they are really there are people who have been practicing this, and it's going on successfully. So what are some of the intervention or the strategies that the government can come up with?
Thank you, Dickens. We still have a number of strategies that government is trying to come up with, like restoration and reforestation.
With that one, I know it's happening rapidly. I've seen really. Yeah.
And we pray that our good trees actually sprout and grow and serve the purpose they are doing.
Yeah.
There is also what we call sustainable agricultural practices. In some countries, like in the East Asia, they do what we call hydroponic farming. I don't know where, because most of these technologies, like we are discussed, are very expensive. Like for example, and the major role of mitigation is to see that the people are living a good life.
Yes.
Food security is secured.
Yeah.
And good health. For food security, you may look at such technologies like hydroponic farming, where you do agriculture in a small piece of land, but in a solution. You use solutions which are nutrient rich to grow, like those small plants, like for example tomatoes, vegetables, in a small piece of land, but under constant monitoring, using those solutions, the hydroponic farmings. We can also do, still capacity building is still very key. We need to teach our people. We need to build their capacity. Even in the boardrooms where these people are discussing these policies, some of them are not well conversant with the policies and the technologies. We need to build first the capacity of the government workforce and even the capacity of the local people who are trying to become good innovators in the areas of mitigating climate change.
And we have seen this really, that especially the young people. That's the reason why last time the president termed that Ugandans are lazy, young people are lazy. You see that like a young person reaches at university that he cannot do something that can bring even an income into his pocket. And you have just heard of the news, is it this week, whereby a student dying because of anger. Come on. In this area, and they called us that we are what? We are an agriculturalist nation. As a nation, do you think that really, that is it the way we are teaching these children? Is it a right? Are we teaching these students or the young people a right way of doing things, or maybe we are interesting them in certain things that are not really applicable? Because there is also selling something to a young person, a youth, something which you know that is just what skyrocket, or something that they cannot do, which you had said that why can they embrace like things to do with agriculture? Like Arthur said, I know that the concept of carbon credit is still something new and still confusing to other people whom have not yet understood very well. What do you think that really that the government should do, or the CSO should do, especially to help now these ones who are already at campus, so that at least a student know that I go there, even though I'm at school, I can do my simple initiative. Then at the end of the day, I'm able to get some income. With this income, I'm able also to invest and live a sustainable life. That even though when I leave campus, I'm out of campus, I'm not going to knock different doors, different offices to look for a job. What are those simple? Because I've seen you moving, like lecturing. Others say that even in patriotism, going there, and you guys, you've been doing recommendable. So what are those? Because I want those basic things that really someone there who is watching us and say that, with this initiative, I can even start it today. Because I know there are very many young people who are watching us. The youth are watching us. Even some of the people in government, they are watching us, and they would like to listen to such ideas which you have said.
Thank you, Dickens. As Wildlife Clubs of Uganda, we have tried to do what we call sustainable education for sustainable development.
Yeah.
And we are doing this in partnership with the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya. Every year we carry a number of patrons, teachers, we get them from Uganda and take them to Kenya for building their capacity, especially in sustainable education for sustainable development.
That's a good one.
And we have a pilot. We have a number of schools that have actually tried to emulate what we really teach them in Naivasha. When you go to one of the schools in Namugongo here, it is called St. Kizito High School. Actually on the 9th, they have their festival, and I would encourage other schools to go and benchmark and see what really these guys are doing. This is a school which is not using wood fuel. They are making briquettes, and these briquettes are made by students themselves. They have a fish pond, they are growing fish, they are doing what you call urban farming. They have a small urban gardens, those urban farming technologies.
Like kitchen gardens?
Yes, they are growing vegetables, they are growing a number of things. So these are the things we are teaching to these schools, member schools of the Wildlife Clubs of Uganda. And I'm sure when a student leaves such a school and they go into the communities and the outside world, they can still survive in this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Let's go to Arthur, since we are at the nick of time. Arthur, what are your recommendations or some of the solutions that maybe briefly you can tell someone who is watching us there, or the government? I know that there are some of the government representatives who are working in offices that maybe they want to listen to some of your ideas and see if it's really they can embrace, or they can even, as the SDG slogan say that leaving no one behind, we need to involve everyone in this initiative that we are trying to push. So what are some of the recommendations?
I think some of the things that we could engage as a country is, want to make electricity accessible, because electricity becomes the heart. Accessible
and affordable to every Ugandan.
If it is accessible and affordable, then it helps a lot in terms of adapting the consequences of climate change. But I want also to encourage government that it is now time for us to really intentionally implement the Bubu policy. Bubu policy just simply means buy Uganda. So if you are promoting a policy, don't be the one to ignore it and buy one soon. There are people who are doing the same technology, but because it's made from here, you are the first one to decline it. And if you decline it, all your role
and to criticize it,
all the people that follow you will also go and try to do it.
Because it's other making the pavers.
Yeah, the cost of production is high. Let them bring the cost of production down for everything. Let them encourage local investment. I love it, my brother, when he says government invited us. Yes, government invited us. we need more than inviting, like he said. We need more intentional and focused programming. Like I said, can we zone? Can we zone? We have different technologies for different communities, guys. We cannot have blanket technology for all of us.
Yeah.
People in Karamoja, there is a way they fight climate change compared to the people in Kabale. The people in Imbari cannot fight climate change the same way the people of Kasese do. So we need to understand different communities and have intentional approaches which are localized to fight climate change.
All right, thank you
so much. And I think that is the beginning of the fight that we need.
Okay, thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Arthur, for coming. Let me give also the Hamuzah, give your closing remarks since we are at the nick of time.
Yes, I want to thank our viewers for always sparing time and watch us and the comments they give in. And to also emphasize that climate change is here and it is here to stay. Let us take it serious and act immediately, like SDG 13 emphasizes. Thank you and have a blessed day.
All right, then. Thank you, my dear guest, for having you in this platform today. I know that people have understood, they have listened. I told you that if you have some of your queries, please send it at the comment section there at our YouTube channel or at any of our social media handles. You can send it, then we will really react to it. We'll try to see if in order maybe to improve the show, to do certain things that you need as a viewer. For us to embrace every idea, because we know that with the issue of climate change, doesn't look at color, doesn't look at race, doesn't look at Uganda only. It's a global agenda. It's something that's affecting the whole world. That's why it doesn't affect, it's only not the party that you are in, or maybe blue, red, or what. No, not that you're tall, short, black, white. No, it's everything. Even though you have a PhD, even though you have masters or what, it still affects you. That's the reason why this conversation is for everyone. And next week we shall still be back, and I think next week maybe we need to come up with the topic we are going to discuss about climate immigration, because we have seen that out of the effect of climate change, we have seen very many immigration happening. And I know with this, because we have the IOM, that's IOM will be there with us, or we have these guests, they are still going to be with us, and we want to thank IOM for the work which they are doing. I've seen some of the discussion they're involving the young people, the children in IOM. They're doing really recommendable work, and that's why next week we want to come here and discuss what are the effects of this climate immigration that we are seeing all over the country. We are seeing that IOM is trying to do this, push this and this. So next week, I encourage you, don't touch your dial. Please be locked at every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. We shall be always there at your tele. Then Monday we shall have also a repeat of this discussion. That's from 8 to 9 p.m. And if you missed this discussion from your live television, when you're watching, you can go back to our YouTube channel and you follow the discussion, because the discussion always goes from 9 to 10 p.m. So you cannot miss it. Or you go to our TikTok, some of these informations are there. Or you reach out to us if you want to have Arthur's number, Hamuzah's number, or my producer's number. You can reach out to them. So thank you very much for the time that you've spared here to listen to our discussion. This discussion is always empowered and powered by UCTV management, and also some of our friends like Youth Go Green, Caritas Uganda, who have made us able to sit here and to have this discussion. So thank you very much. Have a blessed day. As you come 1st of December, come and run for the SDGs in Lugogo Cricket Over. Thank you. God.
UCTV. Good news for all.